Hello, everybody, and welcome to Week 14 of the NFL season. We're rebranding to now Chalk Talk. Was Gambling and Rambling, but after consulting with everyone, we've now rebranded to Chalk Talk.
Chalk Talk, baby.
Chalk Talk. That's we talk about the chalk, the bad chalk, the good chalk, and so we're gonna go game by game over this NFL slate. Give you our picks, our locks of the week. Last week, Corey and I went 9-5. Nick went 8-6, and Alex went 7-7. So no losers this week here. But our locks of the week, we're now 0-12 over the last 3 weeks. All of us have missed 3 weeks straight our lock of the week. I don't know what's going on here, guys.
Well, we're erasing that. So
The new rebrand our
segment.
Yeah.
No, we still have to give our locks of the week.
With the rebrand comes new records.
Yeah, exactly.
Fresh start.
Starting fresh. But yeah, we were gonna have to possibly rename this podcast the Fade Cast, because you would be up like 12 units if you just faded our locks the last 3 weeks. So, but anyway, we're gonna go ahead and get started out here with the Thursday night football game. We have the Steelers at the Vikings. Right now, the spread is Vikings -3. What are your thoughts? We'll start off with Nick.
The Vikings just lost to the Lions. I'm not sure what's going on. Speaking of locks of the week, that one was mine. No clue what happened there. I guess they really missed Dalvin Cook and Adam Thielen.
No, Adam Thielen played. He just got
one play. He played one play.
Oh, he played one play.
Yeah.
He
didn't really play.
Yeah.
He played,
and
he didn't really play.
I think they're missing both their linebackers and their rookie offensive tackle.
Yeah.
And they will be missing all of them on Thursday as well.
Yeah, for good reason. I'm going to continue to fade them this week, doing the opposite of what I thought last week. So I'm just going to have to go with the Steelers here with points.
Corey?
I've been the person who's been on the Vikings, I think, almost every week, and we've seen them kind of regress. They're up and down. They've lost every game they've lost has literally been at the last second or by like less than 3 points. I'm pretty sure.
Every game they've played has been within 7 points.
Within 7. So
yeah.
They play games close. They're banged up right now, which really hurts, especially going to December. We always talk about the best teams are the ones who stay healthy the longest, and especially down the long stretch into the final 4 games of the season. But I still don't think the Steelers are going anywhere. I think they beat the Ravens, but the Ravens, in my opinion, aren't that good. The Steelers are definitely not good. Steelers still have a terrible offensive line right now. If the only way they win this game is if they get up early and Najee Harris touches the ball 30 times, 35 times rushing, because I don't think they'll be able to stick with the Vikings in a set shootout. So with that reason, I'm going to take primetime Kirk Cousins.
I've never heard someone say that and had success. That's for sure.
Yeah, that's not the same, Corey.
It's got to change at one point in time. So why not get a crappy Steelers? They're at home too. If they were in Pittsburgh, I'd be on the Steelers, but I'm taking Vikings.
Alex?
Primetime Kirk Cousins. Corey, you just gave me the layup, dude. The alley-oop toss to just, the Steelers coming off a good win. Kirk Cousins in primetime. Steelers plus points. I will take the Steelers again this week.
Yeah, I don't like the Steelers at all, but this is a spot where it's primetime Kirk Cousins, who's probably the worst primetime quarterback in the entire league. Every time this dude plays, and he just collapses. And it's in a horrible spot for him. He doesn't have Adam Thielen, then you don't have Darisaw, Anthony Barr, Kendricks. I don't know. There's so many.
Dalvin Cook.
Yeah, Dalvin Cook. You have all these pieces that are out. It's a terrible spot for him. And even though it's in Minnesota on a short week, I'm still going to just take the points in a what I think will be a low scoring game. And I think I just don't think the Vikings are in a good spot here on a short week.
I may put money on Steelers money line here too. I think that's a pick I'm definitely going to take Thursday.
Kirk Cousins all time on primetime affairs. He's 6-13. He was 4-9 with the Redskins. He's 2-4 with the Vikings. He's 2-4 on Thursday nights. 1-0 on Saturday nights.
He's Monday night is when he's terrible.
3-2 on Sunday nights. 0-7 on Monday night. So
yeah, he's never won.
It's Monday Night Football is his bugaboo, but every other
it's not good anywhere prime time.
Oh, still taking him.
Yeah, whenever he's on Mondays, you especially fade him. But yeah, if I can get points, it's not even like the Vikings are plus. Like I'm getting points against primetime Kirk. I'm taking that. So, all right, next game we have the Saints. It's in New York, right? Yeah. Saints at Jets. We have the line at Saints -5.5. I guess usually, I'm the Saints fan, so I'll go here first. I think this is an absolutely terrible matchup for the Jets. The Jets are the worst team in the entire league against the run, and that's all the Saints want to do right now. They just want to run. That Taysom's still going to be playing on Thursday, even though he's battling mallet finger or whatever Russell Wilson had. What?
They're playing on Sunday, not Thursday.
Or Sunday, sorry. He's battling that mallet finger thing, but it's not as severe as Russ had it. And right
just
now,
just severe enough to throw a pick to a D lineman, though,
right? that all that happened after his finger got hurt. So I don't know.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So it's kind of
but I just think they're gonna run the ball so many times. I don't know if Kamara's gonna be back. What?
Taysom Hill, aka Cam Newton.
he's Tim Tebow reincarnated, but like kind of worse.
Yeah, well,
I mean, is Kamara back for this game?
Yeah, that's what I don't know.
Running with?
We'll run with Taysom and Mark Ingram. That'll be tough to beat the Jets. And Zach Wilson against the Saints defense isn't the best matchup either. The Jets like to run the ball, and that's not going to work against the Saints. It's a terrible, terrible matchup for the Jets. So yeah, I'm on the Saints -5.5 here. This is an easy.
Yeah, I mean, I think your defense is the one that actually keeps you in this. But
it's just like when I said the Eagles last week was a terrible matchup for the Jets because the Eagles love to run the ball. And that's even with Minshew playing and not Jalen Hurts. Like if Jalen Hurts was playing, that could have been an absolute blowout. And
I don't think Minshew is that bad of a QB.
No, but he doesn't run. Like the Jets' biggest, weak spot is the run. And having Hurts, Sanders, and I don't know, that would have added a whole nother dimension. But yeah, Minshew is probably a better passer than Hurts, but
I think so.
Yeah,
I think that guy deserves a starting spot somewhere.
Yeah, Minshew mania. Let's go. Make the switch, Eagles. But yeah, this is just a bad matchup. The Saints are going to run all over the Jets. So, what do you think, Corey?
Well, I mean, with the Saints not winning a game in the last 5 weeks?
Yeah.
Oh. Tough stretch down the road. You got the Jets at home. Jets have won 2 games this year?
I think so. 2 or 3. Maybe they've won 3.
Maybe 3. Well, I agree with you, PB. The Saints are just going to want to run the ball, and the Jets are obviously terrible against the run. So, with that being said, I think this is a spot where the Saints probably win, but I don't think they cover. And I think if they don't cover, it's because the Jets backdoor them somehow, and the Saints are playing soft cover 2 zone or cover 3 zone and just sitting back. So I'm going to take. I've done it before. I know when I took them the first time, they weren't. They were double-digit underdogs here, but I think I'm going to take the Jets plus the 5.5. And I think that number actually grows throughout the week, especially if Kamara is
Oh
deemed
yeah,
healthy.
Kamara's in. This will probably approach. I
Yeah.
can see it getting close to a touchdown.
So with that being said, if that's the case, I'm going to take the Jets at their plus points on Sunday. So I'm taking the Jets.
So I took the Jets last week, and we saw how that fared for me. I'm gonna roll with the Saints here at minus 5.5. I think the Saints defense is good enough to win this game by a touchdown. They haven't put up any of the player props or team props yet, but New Orleans Saints anytime TD, if that's like a juicy thing, might put a little pizza money on there, as Corey likes to say.
I'm gonna keep going back to the well with Taysom anytime TD, especially when they put his odds at like plus 200. Like,
yeah, I mean, it's like, wouldn't you take a Cam Newton anytime TD like pretty often too?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like Cam's odds were always like minus 100. You know.
Yeah. But that being said, on top of the defense, I think Sean Payton is just going to completely outcoach Bob Saleh here. Bob Saleh is going to be. I think he'll be a fairly long-lasting coach in the league. I think it seems like his teammates or his team likes him as a coach, and obviously he's a good defensive coach, as we've seen at the 49ers. But I just think that this Jets are in most matchups completely outmatched here. I'm going to take Saints and lay the points minus 5.5 right now.
All right, and Nick. He wants to take the Saints, but he knows he.
I don't want to
give you the satisfaction of taking the Saints.
No, just say it, Nick. The Saints are the right play. Just say it.
The Jets stink, but I don't want to give 5 points a quarterback who throws 4 interceptions and like he's just as bad as Zach Wilson. I think passing. Yeah, he has a run element, but it's just him and Mark Ingram. So like having to beat 5.5 points kind of scares me because that offense is like struggling to put up 14 points. So like, I just don't like my odds, even if it is against Jets defense, who's terrible against the run. But I guess I just have to take the Saints because I can't bet on the Jets.
There it is.
What happens if like somehow the Jets come out and stop the run and
they are not? But when have they done that?
I'm just saying hypothetically, like if the Saints get 110 yards rushing, is that enough to win the game?
Honestly, it could, but they're going to get more than 110 yards rushing, I think.
I don't know. Your offensive line's pretty.
What I think is kind of fun though, best offensive player in this game will be Elijah Moore.
He's a beast. He's a beast for sure.
Okay,
he's pretty good.
If Kamara doesn't play,
yeah, like he's the biggest playmaker, which makes me kind of like Jets with points.
Yeah, but Lattimore is. I'm trying to think because Corey Davis is done for the year, so it's Elijah Moore and Jamison Crowder. Yeah, so Lattimore will lock Elijah Moore down.
Yeah.
So they have nobody. That they literally will score like 7 points. Okay. Next game, we have 49ers at Bengals. Bengals are -1 at home. We'll start out with Alex on this one.
I think this is a very good matchup. I'm not sure for who though. I can't. This is going to be a good game. I think Debo's coming back, and just given his usage and the role that he plays in that offense.
Yeah, but did you see Kittle put up like 40 plus fantasy points? Like he could also carry that team without Debo. It just makes him that much better.
Very true.
Debo's been playing awesome this year.
Yeah, which leads me to my pick here. I'm going to go Niners +1. I think Burrow's finger, it clearly bothered him through the rest of that game. So there's, in my mind, unless you guys have heard otherwise, I think there's a chance that's still kind of bugging him a little bit. Obviously, it'll be better than when it happened in that game. But, with Debo coming back, obviously the Niners coming off of a pretty bad loss to the horrendous Seahawks. But I think there's a bounce back spot here for them. So I'll go Niners +1.
Yeah, I'm on
Corey.
the same train there. I don't think the Bengals are quite there yet. They have the pieces, but I think their coaching is what is going to do them in, especially with Zach Wilson, Joey Burrow being banged up. His hand looked like the size of a watermelon throughout that
It
game.
was massive.
So yeah, and the other point about it, the Bengals don't have an indoor practicing facility. They practice outside in Cincy in December. I mean, it's freezing cold. Like, how many actual reps, if you have a swollen hand, can a quarterback actually get? And they're playing in Cincy this week. And I like the 49ers defense a lot better than the Bengals defense. And then with Debo coming back, what the Saints or I'm all over the field here. You know what the 49ers like to do? They like to run the ball. And if Debo is fully healthy and in that same role where he plays running back, receiver, whatever it might be, I just think they have more potential here to score more points than the Bengals. So I'll take the 49ers and basically pick them here.
Nick?
3 for 3, I guess. I mean, you guys kind of covered it. I think San Fran is just looking pretty good right now. So going with them.
I am going to be on the Bengals -1 here. I think that, one, you have Elijah Mitchell's probably not going to play because of his concussion. And then you have Emmanuel Mosley, their corner, is not going to play. He has a high ankle sprain. And then that's not good when you're going against an offense like with Higgins and Chase. And then I also don't think Jimmy G is a good enough quarterback to take advantage, or a good enough quarterback to beat this Bengals defense, which I think is pretty solid. I think like a good quarterback, like one of the elite quarterbacks, can take it just like, I consider Herbert like an above average, very good quarterback, and he was able to take advantage of it. And I think, but someone like Jimmy G, I think the Bengals D is going to be able to stop him. And I mean, who's going to be running the ball for them? It's probably going to be JaMychal Hasty.
We've seen in the past that it doesn't matter if he runs the ball behind that offensive line.
Debo's going to
it'll be Debo,
times.
but coming, like, maybe they don't involve him in as much of the running game coming back from that injury, and you're going to have JaMychal Hasty as the lead back. Like, that's just not. I know their offensive line is great, but that the 49ers, their rushing attack works best when they have their committee that they can just rotate through, or Elijah Mitchell's been their stud this year and but he's probably missing. So I think and the Bengals are at home. I don't know. I think this is a bounce back game for the Bengals. So I'm going to be on the Bengals here. Next game, we have Falcons at Panthers. Panthers are a -3 at home. Corey?
-3 mess.
-3 what?
Mess.
Yeah.
They're not playing very well on offense.
No, they are not. But the Falcons aren't really playing that much better. It's two pretty struggling teams right now. We're probably seeing the end of era of Matt Ryan in Atlanta. It's not really his fault. He hasn't been given the weapons. He has weapons, but it's still, it's not entirely there. They're in a rebuild year. Their offensive line is not great. Kyle Pitts is like and Cordell Patterson is like their only weapons on offense. They don't really have an identity right now. Most of their identity is playing from behind. And the Panthers have a pretty good defense here. And I think that they can stop the passing attack of the Falcons. And, with Cam Newton coming back, they came off a bye. I mean, I'm not saying Cam Newton's good or anything, because we know he's not what he used to be. But he's had more time to be in Matt Rule's offensive playbook now. I'm going to take the Panthers here, -3 at home.
Okay. Nick?
I need to think. I don't know. Like the Falcons offense, I think they're just like, if they had a good running back, I think they could have been a really good team. What is so predictable about them is all they have is Matt Ryan throwing the ball 40 times. So people just sit back and cover 2 and just pick him off. And I think the Panthers defense is actually good enough to stop him and really shut down Kyle Pitts, which is kind of like their only offense right now. I mean, Cordell, he's all right, but I don't know. I think Panthers defense is the unit that wins this game. So give me the Panthers.
Jeez. I think this is going to be an ugly game. Over-unders 43.5 and probably going to go down a point or two if I had to guess. My gut is saying Falcons +3, but I don't have a great reason why I'd pick either of these teams in this matchup.
I would be on the Falcons +3. I just could never lay 3 points when Cam Newton is my quarterback. You know, he's, like I've said, since he came back when everyone was high on him, like, he's not a good quarterback. That's why he wasn't in the league. And yes, the Panthers defense is, I'd say, better than the Falcons, but the Falcons, I know they just got torched this past week, but offenses that can spread the ball around, that have multiple receivers, can have more success against the Falcons, kind of like the Buccaneers had that. But offenses that really only have one like decent receiver, they kind of just get shut down by AJ Terrell. And that, what else do the Panthers, like, without DJ Moore, what else do the Panthers have? Like
Robbie Anderson running streaks.
Okay, that's what. Okay, so you're just relying on that. You're gonna lay 3 points on Robbie Anderson running streaks. Is that what you're doing? So
I'm laying 3 points with their defense.
Okay, you're laying 3, but they still have to score the ball, and so for that reason, I think they don't put enough points where the Falcons can't just at least cover a field goal. And yeah, I still think the Falcons have more offense. I think Matt Ryan's a better quarterback than Cam. I think, Kyle Pitts is still probably the best offensive weapon on the field in general. Well, actually, it's DJ Moore, but some like quarterbacks like Darnold and Cam Newton just can't get him going. But yeah, the Panthers will probably try to take Pitts out, but then you'll have Patterson, who lines up at receiver. Russell Gage has come to life. I don't know. I think there's enough offensive firepower for them to at least cover. So I'm taking Falcons +3 here.
It's going to be like a 21-17 game.
Yeah, it'll be something like that for sure. Next game, we have Seahawks at Texans. We have the Seahawks -7.5 point favorites. We'll start with Nick here.
Yeah, I think they're coming alive. It's going to be Russ's little playoff push. More so, I just think the Texans are garbage. They put up another goose egg this past week, so they might go for the record of like teams shut out. So even if you put up 14 points, I'd still probably take the Seahawks here, just even though I think they're not very good. But I think they beat up a Texans team again.
Yeah,
or Nick or Alex, go ahead.
Yeah, I agree with you, Nick. This is my lock of the week. I think we saw Russ get back to Russ against a good 49ers defense. I think that the Texans are garbage and Davis Mills is starting. So, yeah, lock of the week, Seahawks -7.5.
Yeah, no.
Davis Mills is the one who played 4 or 5 weeks, I think, and only put up 7 total points as an offense. So just going to throw that out there.
Yeah. The Texans are definitely the worst offensive team in the NFL at the moment. And I don't think that's going to change this week. They are at home, which I think benefits the Seahawks, if anything, just because it's indoor game.
Yeah.
The Texans are at home, you mean?
Yeah. So, it's not going to be cold. It's not going to be wet. It's not going to be rainy. And Russ
nice dome game.
Yeah. Russ in a dome. I think the Seahawks are going to win just enough games, I think, to keep Pete Carroll's job for one more year.
That is sad, though. Like, it's almost like they should just give up, like, just to get rid of that dude. Just give up.
No, they should. They should build up. They should trade Russ for his value that he has right now. Because if you go another year or two, he's not gonna have the same value as he does now.
There's no way you can keep Pete. I don't care what they do. There's no way you can keep Pete Carroll after what he's done.
I don't think you can either. But
he just signed Adrian Peterson and like
he didn't sign him.
I mean, pretty much.
Well, I know he agreed to it. I mean,
he's the one that he wanted him, and the fact that he said we're in win now mode, and that is why we signed him. Like, what are you thinking?
He's thinking that they need to win now, and they got their best chance with
Adrian Peterson. Like, you have Alex Collins as a healthy scratch because you think Adrian Peterson gives you a better shot than Alex Collins.
Alex Collins hasn't done anything all year, so why would you get that guy another shot?
It doesn't matter. He's still probably better than Adrian Peterson, or Rashad Penny is probably better. There's no way Adrian Peterson is better than those dudes. It's impossible.
Well, I mean, they obviously think so. He scored a touchdown, so. But I'm taking.
Are you upset because you tried out and Adrian Peterson beat you out?
I could probably beat Adrian Peterson out. Dude is terrible.
Coin flip.
That dude would break you in half, PB.
Yeah.
No, you said your lock. So
yeah.
Corey, you
took Seahawks.
Okay.
Yeah, I took Seahawks.
I'm going to be on the Seahawks as well. This is my third week, I think, now taking them, even though I just love bashing PK. It's because I know Russell Wilson's still a good quarterback, and I just have to think that will just still outshine Pete Carroll's terrible coaching. And, in a dome like Lockett or Metcalf, I think one of them could have a big game here. And the Texans, I mean, they're not. It's Davis Mills, and they have nobody. They literally have nobody. They're going to struggle to put up even a touchdown. So, yeah, I think, and this, we'll get to teasers at the end, but this will definitely be one to put in your teasers. 7.5 to the 1.5. Next game, we have Raiders at Chiefs. The Chiefs are 9.5 point favorites. I believe the last time they played, and I remember saying something along the lines of, if this was in like a previous years when the Chiefs have played the Raiders, like when the Chiefs were in their funk and they played the Raiders, I think wasn't the line like Chiefs -2.5 or something?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah. So now this is what I'm talking about, where, you get people who are recency biased. Now the Chiefs have won 5 straight, and now, they're 9.5 point favorites. So what are your thoughts here? We'll start with Nick, the biggest Chiefs fan in the room, the biggest Mahomes fan in the room. Who
by far?
What's the play here?
I think it's obviously Raiders +9 is the play.
9.5.
Obviously.
Okay. Explain why.
I don't like that it's in Kansas City. I think they actually do a lot better at home. But Mahomes is at his weakest when he's on the run from a big old Max Crosby or Yannick Panic Man. Just coined that one. Going to trademark it. So lock that in for a Raiders pass rush to disrupt Patrick Mahomes and shut him down. I think Darren Waller should be back. So
yeah, it sounds like he's trying to,
Yeah, I think he's kind of a fun player against the Chiefs, because you get Honey Badger coming in on one of the biggest tight ends in the NFL as hard as he can. So it always makes for a good matchup. I think it'll be a close one, honestly. I think Chiefs probably win it, but I like 9.5 points here.
Alex?
Yeah, I agree with you, Nick. Like you like to say, PB, we're betting numbers, not teams. This is a interdivision matchup. Usually a little bit closer in these games. These teams know each other, obviously. Pretty similar makeup over the last couple of seasons. 9.5 just feels like too much with the Chiefs team that still over the last couple of years is horrible against the spread. I know they covered last week, but like the defense is coming alive, but they don't look like overwhelming. They don't look like the Chiefs. Still, to me, like they're definitely trending in the right direction. The defense is getting healthy and figuring it out, but they're still just not quite putting it all together. And granted, they've got a couple of weeks to do so. This is definitely a playoff team, but too many points for me. I'll go Raiders +9.5.
Corey?
Raiders suck. They were bad. They are not a good team. They've lost their identity. They can't score points on offense. Their run game is almost non-existent. I mean, Josh Jacobs is playing better. They just lost Kenyon Drake, their backup running back, to a pretty serious lower leg injury. I'm pretty sure he posted on Twitter. It was pretty gross. But the Chiefs are playing well because their defense is playing well. And I believe that they can continue doing this. Arrowhead is one of the hardest stadiums to play at. It's the loudest in the NFL. I don't think that in the shootout, which I don't think this is even going to be a shootout because the way that the Chiefs defense is playing right now. And I think this is a good spot for the Chiefs offense to get back on schedule because they haven't looked like the old Chiefs, like Alex was saying. I don't think they're a Super Bowl contending team this year, just the way that, their offense has been playing. With that being said, if they can start clicking and Patrick Mahomes can, become the MVP that everyone thought he'd be this year, then maybe we can start talking about them winning or going back to another Super Bowl. But at home here, Chiefs are trending up, Raiders are trending down. Give me Chiefs -9.5.
Yeah, I agree. I'm on Chiefs -9.5 here. When the Chiefs were in their slump, I said, don't, like, this is nothing to worry about. They're won 5 straight and they're covering games. And I just care to remind me, Nick, what was the score the last time the Chiefs went into Las Vegas? Do you remember?
I don't know.
A couple weeks ago.
Yeah, I don't know.
It was 41-14. That was the score. So now the Raiders are coming into Arrowhead and the Chiefs defense is looking better. And I think Mahomes, the thing about the Chiefs, like, people just haven't been seeing like these Tyreek highlights, which in the past years, that's what's made everyone think so high of Mahomes, is just these long bombs to Tyreek. Teams are playing way more too high safety this year. Like, you're seeing just a lot more short passes. Yeah. And that's fine. Like, Mahomes is doing fine with that. Yes, some of these explosion plays haven't been there as much this year, but he's looked fine for most of the year. I don't know why people are so low on Mahomes and the Chiefs.
I give him a hard time because I think they started the year pretty bad, but
they started hot. He started his stats at the beginning.
Mahomes' stats might have been good, but they weren't winning as a team.
Yeah, they weren't winning as a team.
I think actually
their defense was atrocious at the beginning.
Yeah, it was really bad. But they're putting it together. Their last 5, then their last 5 games, they beat Cowboys, Packers. They beat some of the best teams in the NFL.
The Chiefs.
I kind of think they're back as much shit as I give them.
The Chiefs are still my Super Bowl pick for, probably still it's to win the Super Bowl, but definitely from the AFC, they're still my Super Bowl pick. And the fact that that's somewhat like contrarian or like, I don't know, is weird to me because it's the Chiefs. Like, I don't know why people are so quick to discount teams when we've seen what they're capable of. But yeah, I'm on the Chiefs -9.5 here. If this can get to 8.5, I'm gonna love that because then I can tease it down to 2.5. If people start pounding the Raiders, which I don't know why they would, but maybe it happens. Next game, we have Ravens at Browns. The line is at Browns -2.5. We'll hand this over to the Browns fan to start us off here.
Had some bad news come up this week. Njoku's not going to play.
Oh, good. That's the loss right there, isn't it?
That's going to be a loss right there. But I think 5.5 points against the Browns right now.
2.5.
2.5. I thought you said 5.
It's 2.5.
Oh my gosh.
They're 2.5 point favorites against the Ravens.
All right, I like them to win by a field goal because it's win or go home right now. They should be able to win. Like, Chubb and Kareem need to just get involved. Kareem Hunt didn't even play the last game against them. I don't understand why they didn't use their best player or one of their 2 best players. So they need to figure that out. I'm glad they had a bye week. Sleep that little bad streak off, and I think they come back hot and make their playoff run. So it's got to start here and
it either starts here or it ends.
Win. Yeah, it's win or go home. I think this is it. So I think we'll see the best of the Browns come out again, but
Corey?
This game opened Browns +1 as probably an early line, and then after what people saw with the Ravens and Steelers, again, Lamar Jackson is not he's a starting quarterback in the NFL, but his throwing ability right now is still not there. He's very inaccurate.
Doesn't he have almost as many touchdowns as his interceptions and touchdowns are like the same?
Yeah, I think he has like 16 or 17 touchdown passes with like 14 interceptions, something like that.
I mean, we picked him off 4 times the last game. We should have won.
Yeah,
that's the scary thing though, that
right.
You picked him off 4 times and you lost.
Well,
You're
hopefully,
telling me. I know.
Hopefully Baker's a little bit healthier now. He's still playing with that torn labrum. Obviously, that's still going to be there for the remainder of the season. But I just think that the Browns get back to what the Browns do best, and that's running the ball. And I think if they're in the lead at any point in time this game, 2 touchdown score, I just think it's going to be hard for Lamar to, what we've seen, throw the ball down the field and be accurate with it. And I don't think he's quite there yet. Yes, he has games where he looks amazing and he throws all over the field, but that's against bad secondary teams, bad defensive teams. The Browns are not a bad defensive team at all. They have 2 great edge rushers. Their secondary is strong. They're healthy on the defensive side of the ball. So give me Browns at home minus the 2.5, and a must win for them.
Yeah, I think a game that's going to be played and won in the trenches off of a bye week, like you let Wyatt Teller sleep for a week, that big Grizzly man's going to wake up angry. Like he's hunting for some birds.
Alex?
Yeah, the only other thing I'd add to what you guys have chimed in on is the Browns have basically had 3 weeks to scout the Ravens, right? They played them bye week this week. So, going with Browns minus 2.5 at home.
Yeah, I'm going to have to go with everyone else here. I just think this is a very bad spot for the Ravens because, it's kind of like what you said. It's like the Browns just played the Ravens. Then they had their whole bye week, just to game plan to play the Ravens again. Like, it is an absolutely horrible spot for the Ravens. And, Lamar is not the best passer. Like, I still think he has success on the ground like he normally does. And that's the only chance I think the Ravens have of winning if Lamar goes for like over 100 yards rushing and scores a few touchdowns on the ground. But, Chubb, I don't think Baker is what wins them this game here. I think it'll be more of the defense of the Browns. And then I think
Chubb's got to be hot.
Chubb and Hunt will be healthier now. So I think this is a game I could see the Browns really establishing the run in this game against the Ravens. Marlon Humphrey's done for the year. It's just a really, really bad spot for the Ravens. So for that reason, I'm on the Browns minus 2.5. I don't mind the Ravens in a teaser like to 8.5. Like, if you take the Browns minus 2.5, but also you could have a small hedge with Ravens plus 8.5 and another in a teaser, because I can't really see the Browns like blowing them out, but I don't know. That's just like a thought there.
No, to be completely frank, I don't know if Lamar makes it through this year without getting like hurt. Like, the way I was watching that game.
Pretty big dude though.
He's not that big.
Really?
No, he's tall, but he's not like, he doesn't have like, he's not 200 pounds. He's probably like what,
he's 6'2", 215.
Okay. It's not huge. And the way he just runs the ball, he doesn't go down. He doesn't slide or anything. Last week he took some shots against the Steelers, and I don't know. It's a really bad spot for the Ravens. If I was a Ravens fan, I'd be petrified every time that dude like ran the ball. Like, after he made some plays, I just see this has just every kind of thing pointing towards the Browns. Like, off the bye, the Ravens have played 2 divisional games in a row, one of them being the Browns. Lamar hasn't looked that good. The Browns should be getting healthier, at least, on
a couple sides of the ball. It's just a horrible spot. And you talk about motivation, which is a factor. Like the Browns are like, this is it for them. You know,
Yeah.
they're going to be playing as if their life depends on it. And so, which it does, like they lose this and they're very doubtful to make the playoffs. So yeah, I like the Browns there. Next game, we have the Cowboys at Washington football team. It is Cowboys -4. We'll start with Corey on this one.
Man, it's crazy to think that, 5 weeks, 6 weeks ago, we talked about the Washington football team in the playoffs, like in the playoff hunt at least.
They're not making the playoffs.
I mean, their schedule, I'm curious what their schedule looks like at the end of
They
the year.
get the Eagles twice, I think, and they get maybe the Cowboys again. I don't know.
Let's see.
Yeah, they get Eagles, Cowboys, and Giants left.
Okay, so if they can, with how bad that bottom tier the NFC is right now, they could sneak in. Their defense is looking a lot better now. Their offense, that's the only issue right now with them, is that their offense can't really move the ball down the field as much as they probably like to. They're not scoring that many points. I think the last 2 weeks they've put up 15 points each game, which is a crazy stat.
17 to 15 in the last 2 games were the final scores.
So obviously they've been relying heavily on the defense to keep them in games. Cowboys, they are a very good NFC team right now. Dak looks good. They looked good last week. Man, this is tough. Something tells me I want to take Washington here with taking plus points at home. But the only issue is if the Cowboys offense is on fire that day, then I don't see a chance that the Washington can even keep up with them. So I'm going to lean Cowboys here -4. I don't like it, but I'll take the better team, the better offensive team here.
Nick?
Yeah, I think Cowboys definitely have more upside. Although Washington just won 4 in a row, which is pretty good. Congrats to them. I don't think it continues here against the Cowboys. But I don't think Tyler Heineke's that bad, honestly. Yeah, that guy. I don't think he's that bad. I mean, for being a backup quarterback who kind of made the most out of his opportunity, I think he's decent, but just that firepower, it's hard to bet against the Cowboys right now. I think they got to win some games here. So
I'm pretty sure he's making, like, every time he wins a game, he's making like $250K each time, which is crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is a tough one. -4 doesn't feel like enough for this Cowboys team, who seems to be starting to click. Put up 27 against a good Saints defense. This is tough. I think this is going to be a good game. I think it's going to be close, but I think the Cowboys win by a touchdown. So I'll go Cowboys and lay the points.
Yeah, this is my lock of the week. I'm on the Cowboys -4 here. I just don't see any way Washington. I know they've won 4 straight, but this is a line that I think, a couple things don't go Washington's way recently. Like you see this line in double digits in the Cowboys' favor. And this matchup for the Washington is absolutely terrible. The Cowboys are one of the best passing off or top 3 passing offense in the league. Amari Cooper,
it's -3.5 right now on DraftKings.
That's insane. Like it's definitely my favorite. The thing is, Amari Cooper didn't even play the last few weeks. Lamb, like the Thanksgiving game, there's been some like COVID injury stuff where the Cowboys haven't been fully there. Like this is going to be one of the first games in the entire year that Lamb, Cooper, and Gallup have all been on the field at the same time. Like I think this might be the second game of the year. Like against the worst, like top, bottom 3 passing defense in the league. Like Dak is going to absolutely tear this team apart, in my opinion. I just don't see Washington like keeping up. I can the Cowboys I think easily put up over 30 points on them. One or multiple of Lamb, Gallup, or Cooper is just gonna have an explosion game in my opinion. Yeah, I'm all over the Cowboys in this spot. Next game we have Jaguars at Titans. We have the Titans minus 8.5 in this divisional game. We'll start with Corey on this one.
Man, the Titans are coming off a bye. Hopefully they figured out their offensive woes. I don't think AJ Brown's playing. Julio's definitely not playing, right?
No, Julio's coming back.
He's coming back. Okay, so that helps out a little bit with their threats on the outside. Obviously, still no Derrick Henry. We've seen them, be sporadic here the last couple of weeks without Derrick Henry in. They just don't have the same running offense as they did, obviously, with Derrick Henry. The Jaguars suck. Urban Meyer is so bad. The fact that he's made it this far throughout the year, I understand the owner of the Jaguars doesn't want to look like a complete buffoon and fire Urban Meyer halfway through the season after they just hired him to it was like a 5-year. It was a big deal, whatever he got. Trevor Lawrence, their offense looked so bad last week against the Seahawks, a bad Seahawks defense, and they couldn't do anything to move the ball. I don't know. The Titans are trending downwards at this moment. They have to win this game to, be still in. They'll make the playoffs just because of their cupcake schedule at the end of the year. But I want to take the Jaguars here with plus 8.5. I don't know. Maybe something turns around this week and they figure it out. But I don't know. It's a lot of points for a divisional game. But Jaguars, I don't know if Jaguars can even score 8 points, to be honest. I'm gonna take the Jaguars here at plus 8.5. I think it's gonna be like a close game. So I'm just gonna take close points in the close game.
Nick?
I second that. Divisional game, 9 points. If it was like any other offense, I think I probably would have taken the 9.5 points, but
it's 8.5. But
or 8.5. So I don't know. I don't want to bet on Tennessee, even if they are home with Julio back. He wasn't really doing very much before he was injured, so I'm not all that optimistic he's going to be able to come in there and turn everything around. And it's not like they have a great stout defense that can slow the game down either. So I kind of like the Jaguars. Maybe this is the Trevor Lawrence breakout game. I think I just start betting on it until it happens one day, and then I'll be right. So let's see how many times it takes. Give me the Jags.
Alex?
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Titans here at home. I just looked it up. Vrabel's 3-0 off of bye weeks. We're getting Julio back here. That Jaguars team, I don't see putting up more than 7 or 10 points. And I think with Julio and not needing a great run offense to run on the Jaguars, I think that Titans win by double digits here. So I'll take Titans minus 8.5. It's a lot of points, but I think they got it.
So I'm gonna be with Corey and Nick here with Jaguars plus 9. Kind of like how I said on the last show, where it wasn't going to happen against the Rams, where Trevor Lawrence kind of has a stretch run. But I think this is the stretch run where the rookie quarterback, kind of shows what he's about. And I know Urban Meyer is a terrible coach and all, but if you look at the Jaguars schedule, Lawrence has had to face probably, I can't think of many tougher passing defenses than Lawrence has had to play. I'll name some of the teams: the Rams, the 49ers when they were pretty healthy on the defensive side, the Bills, the Dolphins, the Bengals, the Cardinals, the Broncos. He's had to face some very, very tough defenses, in my opinion. And now he gets to face the Titans, the Texans, and the Jets. And
breakout season.
So this is where I think you can see Trevor Lawrence actually show up. I think you could see a little bit of a Laviska Shenault breakout. Maybe a couple good Marvin Jones games, but specifically
Party at Jacksonville.
yeah.
Time to get it going.
Now I'm not saying I do think they could possibly win 2 out of these 3 games. I mean, the Titans could be one of them, but the Titans have a terrible pass defense, and the Jaguars kind of match up well. The Titans like to run the ball, and the Jaguars have a better run defense than pass defense. If the Titans do win this, I think Julio has a lot of success because the Jaguars pass defense isn't all that great, but I don't know. I think 9.5 points is a lot of points in this divisional game, and a solid matchup for the Jags. So I'm on Lawrence here. Not on Urban Meyer. I'm on Lawrence. So yeah, the next game is Giants at Chargers. We have the Chargers at 10.5 point favorites. We'll start with Nick on this one.
I'm licking my chops to play that Chargers defense against Mike Glennon. Oof, that's going to be a nightmare. Could be kind of a good fantasy game for Saquon. I think is really like the only glimmer of hope for the Giants, but 9 points we kind of just said was a lot, right? So it's like a little tempting, but Chargers seem to be back. I think this is where they start exploding and putting up 40 points a game. And I just don't see Mike Glennon putting up 20 points. So I think it's going to be like 35 to 14 or something like that. Give me the Chargers.
All right. Alex?
Yeah. Hammering the Chargers here. I was just looking up the Giants' last couple of games here. They've put up 10 points, 7 points, and 9 points. And 2 of the 3 of those were with Daniel Jones as well. I know Saquon's been banged up, so that's not great, but I don't think he's like significantly healthier this week. Chargers coming off of a really good win. That was an awesome game to watch. Just kind of back and forth between 2.
The Bengals comeback almost happened, but
it did. Yeah. 2 really talented teams there, really young, really talented teams. That was fun to watch. But clearly see the Chargers going in one direction and the Giants going in a very different one. So even though it's double digits and that's always kind of tough to bet, I'm going to hammer the Chargers here.
Corey?
Yeah. East Coast teams traveling to West Coast is a little bit better than West Coast teams traveling to the East Coast. But the Giants are dead in the water right now. Their entire offense is depleted. Daniel Jones is not playing. Saquon, if I was the Giants, I would tell Saquon, hey man, can you just sit out the rest of the year because we can't help you and we don't want you to get hurt again. We just gave that big contract. Their offense, their receivers are banged up. I thought last week that maybe Mike Glennon could help Kenny Galladay get started, but I mean, there's just no, again, we talked about they can't score points. They're like the Texans right now in the last couple of games. There's no offense on that side of the ball. And the fact that they even beat the Eagles a couple of weeks ago is insane. But give me Chargers minus 10.5 here. I almost want to say this is a lot of points to make a lock of the week, but I think I'm going to take Chargers minus 10.5. I'm not going to say lock of the week quite yet. Let's go through a couple more of these games here, but I might, circle back to make this my lock.
Yeah, I'm on the Chargers minus 10.5 here. Like we've said, Giants have no offensive firepower. The Chargers have plenty of it, and their defense is good. So I think 10.5 is probably still, I think this should be closer to 2 touchdowns. And another team, pop in your teaser, you get it from 10.5 to 4.5. So you get it through the 10 and the 7, I think is a pretty solid teaser. But yeah, Justin Herbert should, Saquon is probably just because the Chargers are weaker against the run. Like Saquon maybe has a decent game, but there's nothing the Giants are going to really be able to do on the passing side, I don't think, with Mike Glennon. So yeah, I'm on the Chargers minus 10.5. Next game, we have Lions at Broncos, minus 8 Broncos.
Barn burner.
Barn, yeah, this is game of the week. We'll start with
Oh,
Alex
man.
on this one.
Thanks for serving me this one up, PB. You always seem to do that. Just give me
Only the best for you.
the
Alex.
absolute stinkers to start off on. Geez. Over unders 42 in this game. I mean, the Lions have been covering. They won last week. They've been covering before that.
They're the best covering team right now in the NFL.
Yeah, I was
Are
going
they
to say
really?
you'd be dumb to not bet with the Lions this year.
In a stinker, I'll take the points. Give me Lions.
Yeah. Me too. I think Vegas is just going to keep giving us free money on the Lions. PB kind of hit it last week. We got to give it to him. Round of applause for PB calling the Lions best spread. So I guess we keep going the Lions.
I didn't actually. The funny thing is, like, I was talking up the Lions, like how they've had one of the best records against the spread, but I thought like they're due for regression, and then they beat the Vikings. So
even if they didn't, they still covered.
Yeah, they still covered. 8 points, I think. I just don't see Denver really putting up that much on offense. I don't know. Like Teddy Two Gloves is not good. I think he might be just as bad as Cam Newton. Hot take, maybe, but I put him on the same tier. I mean, they can't really do much.
No, the Broncos have quite a better defense than the Vikings. But the Broncos on offense looked abysmal on, what was that, Sunday night against the Chiefs? So I don't know. I don't want to bet the Lions here at all at +8. I think they got their one win. I know that we're not talking about who's going to win the game. We're talking about the points. But Broncos at home, I'm gonna take the Broncos here -8 just because the Lions still suck. And you know what's going to happen is they're probably going to backdoor cover this game like they've done all year long. But I just give me the Broncos, better defense than the Vikings, and I think Jared Goff he's still playing quarterback. So, and they're still without DeAndre Swift, I'm pretty sure. So, yeah, give me the Broncos here -8.
Yeah, I'm with the Broncos -8. I think that the Lions got their win. The Broncos have like we talk about motivation at this time of the year, which is like, it's actual thing that goes into spreads, like it matters. And the Broncos are still highly motivated. They still have a shot at the playoffs. I don't think they get in, but they still have a shot.
This shot.
Yeah, it's a very slim shot, and I think they win this game. I still don't think they make it. There's other teams that are going to make it over them, but against the Lions, it's a horrible matchup for the Lions. Like Jared Goff going against this defense, and then the Broncos, who Teddy Bridgewater, kind of more of a game manager. Like he has a lot of success against bad teams, and that's what the Lions are. And historically, Teddy Bridgewater has still been one of the best quarterbacks against the spread. And, I really hope Melvin Gordon's out again because we get to watch Javonte Williams play. That dude is insane. He's so, so good. And the Lions' run defense is terrible. But, yeah, I don't know. I think, Judy or Sutton, Javonte, one of them is going to have a huge, huge game against the Lions. And I don't really see anyone on the Lions like offensively being able to like really do much. I think it's going to be the Lions are going to be punting like every drive here. So I'm on and I think you could see another one of those. Who's that rookie corner? Why can't I think of his name? So yeah, score. Maybe a defensive touchdown here. But yeah, I'm all over the Broncos here. Next game we have Bills at Bucks. All right, Alex, I'll let you start again. I know I gave you the Lions Broncos, so you can start off with like probably the game of the week, Bills Bucks. So
yeah, Lions -3 right now. Brady at home in Tampa. Bills coming off of a tough game, tough game. They could not stop the run to save their lives. It was unbelievable. They knew it was coming every time, and
insane
picked up 8 yards every time. Like it's just tough. I'm gonna roll with Brady and the Bucks -3. I think they win this game. So at -3, I think if nothing else, it pushes. So yeah, give me Brady and the Bucks.
Nick?
I like the Bills, even though Trey White's out. I think they're a lot worse without him, honestly. I don't know. You couldn't even use the Patriots game as a measure of how they're really doing. So it's kind of tough. But yeah, I mean, Tom Brady's obviously heating up, and he knows this Bills team too. It's a team he played his whole career. So I think he's probably got the most homework on them, maybe ever. So that kind of makes me like the Buccaneers. So I guess I'll go with the home team here.
Corey?
Maybe. No, I'll let you go.
Okay. I'm on the Bills +3. This line, which should be, for Bucks bettors, should make you nervous. Like even after the Patriots just ran all over them and didn't throw they threw one or two passes all game, which is nuts. The line didn't change. And that should tell you something because I still think the Bills defense is good. And I don't think Brady is, yes, he just threw all over the Falcons and everything, but I think he struggles against good defenses. And I would consider the Bills a good defense. So I think this is a game where you see Brady struggle. And I think you see, and Josh Allen, this is the matchups where he just shreds, the bad secondaries. You can see Diggs have just a huge game here. I just think Josh Allen has a good matchup against this Bucs secondary. And I think he could easily cover 3, but I actually think the Bills win this game. So yeah, I'm on the Bills in this one. Corey?
I think this is gonna be a shootout. I don't think defenses are gonna stop each other, and I think it's whoever gets the ball last is gonna win this game. And if that's in the hands of Brady, he's one of the best quarterbacks late in the game to win. So I think this might end up in a push and on a last second field goal for the Bucs. So I'm hoping that maybe the line gets down to 2.5 if people start coming on the Bills side, -3. So if it stayed at 3.5, I would have liked the Bills. But again, I think this is a push here. I to be honest, if the Bills don't win this game, I don't think they make the playoffs.
That's ridiculous, but okay.
How is that ridiculous?
Because, one, let's see the schedule of the Bills.
Okay, so
they play the Panthers, the Patriots again, which is hard to beat a team. Then they play the Falcons and the Jets at home. They're making that. Come on, they're making the playoffs. That's dumb.
Oh well, all right. But I was just saying, even if they do make the playoffs at their spot, I don't think. I don't know. Their defense is not as good as it was last year, and I think Brady in this game, he has a good. I think both quarterbacks have a really good game. I think for fantasy value, I think this is obviously going to be the plays of the week. We'll talk about that tomorrow, but I guess +3. Damn it. I'm going to take the Bucs here -3 at home. I don't know. I think it's going to be a push regardless, but that's just me.
If you think it's going to be the push, you would always take points because you wouldn't lay a field goal if you think it's a push.
All right.
But okay, take your whatever. Next game, we have Bears at Packers. -12.5 Sunday Night Football. Packers. I don't think we need to spend too much time on this one because we have the last game of the week is a solid one. So quickly, let's just run through Bears, Packers. Corey, what do you got?
Oh, you're not gonna start with Alex, the Bears fan?
We can, but I think we already know his pick here. But you can start us off with, I know what you're taking.
Do you?
I definitely think you're taking Packers -12.5.
Yeah, at Lambeau, coming off a bye, Packers getting healthy at the right time. And there's some stat where it's if every year that the Packers defense has been the top 3 or top 5 rated defense, the Packers have made the Super Bowl. and I think they're like number.
Oh,
3.
it would be if the Packers got Jari Alexander, Zadarius Smith, and their left tackle. I mean, good gracious,
Yeah, Bakhtiari.
They would be tough in that because right now I think the Cowboys make the Super Bowl from the NFC, but if they got I don't think they get all 3 back, but if they did, it would be really hard not.
Yeah, and the Bears are just not going to be able to score points against them. So Rodgers at home. I'll lay another double-digit spread here.
Nick?
Yep. Nothing to add here.
Okay, Corey?
Bears are really bad.
Yeah, I mean, Aaron Rodgers, as he told that fan, he owns Chicago, and now he's at home playing in Lambeau off a bye. His foot seems to be, it's still broken, whatever his pinky toe is, but I don't think that's going to affect him that much. Though these games are usually more, I think they're closer. But like Alex said, the Packers have one of the top defenses as of late right now. So give me Packers at home minus 12.5.
Yeah, nothing to add. I'm on Packers minus 12.5. Also add this to the other teams I mentioned that are good for teasers. Get them from the 12.5 through the 10 and the 7 down to 6.5. Last game. Actually, I said Bills Bucks. This is tied for like the game of the week on Monday Night Football. We finally get a really solid primetime game here. We have Rams at Cardinals. Cardinals are -3 favorites. We'll start with Nick on this one.
This is going to be a good one. I actually think I really like the Cardinals here, even though they keep winning. But we know Stafford's not very good against good teams. I think one of the most underrated cornerbacks in the league is Byron Murphy on the Cardinals. He's really good. Kind of locked down. Got to watch him shut down Darnell Mooney all week. He's really good. Even when he played the Browns, just lights out. But enough about him. Yeah, if Darrell Henderson's still a little shaky, I just don't know if Stafford's going to be able to shoulder as much as the Cardinals can shoulder on offense. Kyler and DeAndre Hopkins looking to get in their groove for the Super Bowl run. You can't count them out. I know you like the Cowboys in the Super Bowl, but I kind of like the Cardinals, so going with them.
Darrell Henderson was healthy. Well, he was not healthy enough to play. He wasn't.
He was like an emergency.
Yeah, he was actually suited up for the game, so I think he should be okay this week. Rams traveling to Arizona. This is the first time the Cardinals are going to be on primetime, I think. Is that might be wrong. That definitely could be wrong, but it seems like I can't remember when the last time they played a primetime game. But I like the Rams here. I've been on the Rams all year. I think this is a spot for them, to show why they should be one of the talked about teams in the NFC. I'm just thinking that the Rams defense is slightly better than the Cardinals defense here. I know Kyler Murphy, Jesus. Dude, I am all like, today's been like just mush brain, just complete. Kyler Murray.
That probably explains your Rams pick then.
No,
Yeah,
it doesn't.
seriously.
So I think a lot of people are really high. I mean, we're still really high on the Cardinals, and we know what the Rams are, and I think that
they're just bad against or good against bad teams. That's what we know.
I think this is a week that everyone, they shut everyone up and be like, hey, this is why we brought Matthew Stafford in. He's gonna have a great game. So taking Rams here +3.
Yep, I'm on Cardinals -3. Matt Stafford just can't get it done in the big moments. 9, and we'll say this every show as long as he just continues to lose. 9-70 in his career against teams with winning records. Cardinals, best record in the league. Terrible spot for the Rams. Kyler Murray, I was kind of curious to see in his first game back, how mobile he would be with that ankle. I mean, he was running all over the Bears. And he looked fast too. What?
And the weather was that field was horrible.
Meaning they're confident. He waited long enough to make sure he was ready to go. Hopkins only played a limited number of snaps, still caught a great touchdown. He should be, I think they limited him because they wanted to make sure for Monday Night Football against the Rams, like he was ready to go, full health. You're going to have the Cardinals full arsenal ready to go. Yeah, Cardinals -3 against the Rams.
I agree with you here. Going Cardinals -3 as well. I think they show everyone why they're the best team in the league at home. So
last game they played primetime was the Packers. That's the last
And
game.
they won. With
Packers won.
Oh yeah, that's right. The Packers won. That's right.
With
Packers,
no Aaron Rodgers, no like MVS.
Yeah, I do remember that.
it was their first loss of the year, right?
It might have been.
All right. Well, so yeah, running last through. Did you guys? I kind of mentioned some of my teasers. I'll just run through it quickly.
Hang on, locks.
Oh, we all gave our locks. I don't think you did, Corey.
Yeah, I'm going back to the Chargers. That's gonna be my lock.
Okay. But I'll quickly run through the teasers that I had mentioned, and that would be the Seahawks from 7.5 to 1.5. You can get the you can get the Jaguars from 8.5 to 14.5. I didn't mention that one, but I like that looking at it again. The Chargers from 10.5 to 4.5. Broncos from -8 to -2. And then the Packers from -12.5 to 6.5. I think those are amongst my favorites. What do you guys have any others that you like? Or
No, I think you hit it on the nail on the head there.
I'm gonna definitely do a big spread teaser this week. Packers, Chargers, and Chiefs.
okay.
My favorite alternate spread of the week is going to be
gosh.
Steelers plus 7.5 at -235. Throw it in your parlay for a nice little juicy bump and have good
Minus what again?
-235. It's a lock.
You're
Against
wasting money. Dude.
against-
They're gonna win that game.
No,
Yeah,
it's
why
it's
late?
just safe.
200
You just never. There's nothing guaranteed. That's why we play. So you buy yourself a touchdown and a little half point.
Not
You,
happening.
throw
right.
it in a 3 or 4.
We are
game
not ending the
parlay.
show with that. So just
Yeah.
please cut.
Remember
right
the Diamond
before Nick
Dozen?
spoke. Just end
We
this
need to
right
bring back
before-
the Diamond Dozen.
No, we don't need to bring that back. So that ends this first episode of the rebranded Chalk Talk. So tune in tomorrow. We'll go over the fantasy plays of the week on the main DFS slate. But thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow.